guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. Mike here, and I just got done watching all the special features. I watched the damn commentary. I don't break character to the DVD commentary. I watched the commentary for the Halloween Kills alternate cut, featuring David Gordon Green, Judie Greer, and Jamie Lee Curtis. I got some stuff to talk about in that, some Halloween Ends hints out of that. That's some cool stuff that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the alternate version. Is it better than the original version? We're going to talk about the gag reel. We're going to talk about the deleted scenes. We're going to talk about like the 7 featurettes that are on this thing, including a kill count. We're going to break down the entire thing and what's upcoming for Halloween Ends that David Gordon Green hints at in this commentary. But first!
Look, evil might die tonight, or it might not. But either way, if I'm going to die, I want to die in this fucking chair. Let me tell you guys, Valencia Theater Seating sent us these. We know you showed them to you before. There's a link below if you guys want to check them out yourself. The most comfortable movie chairs I've ever sat in. That is no lie to you. It got storage in the middle of it. It's got a USB port so you can charge your phone while you're not looking at your phone while you're watching movies, because that is illegal. But they have the port there in case you want to use it. 3 different settings. You can move your headrest, which is the best part because you can go all the way back in the chair. And then if you just don't want to have to do anything at all, instead of having to pick your own head up, the headrest will push your head forward and force you to take in your favorite sports team losing, probably to the Patriots. There's these awesome blue lights that go underneath them in the cup holders and on the USB ports themselves. And one of the best parts is that it's actually really easy to put together. It's like a 3-step process. You put the top into the bottom, you plug in the plugs, and you're good to go. Valencia Theater Seating, the link is down below.
Alright, first off, let's talk about the alternate version of the movie itself. Is it better? For me, I like it better, but it's just that little bit. The movie itself is only like 4 minutes extra. It has the endings change, which we've talked about. I just did a video earlier today talking about every difference between the alternate version and the extended version. You get a link to that down below. But yeah, because of that extra minute, even though it doesn't... And when Halloween Ends comes out, I might not like this ending better because it won't make sense. Because as he said, we had to change the ending because Laurie couldn't just walk out there ready to fight. She had an injury, and the movie's going to take place 4 years later now. So that's why we took it out. That being said, right now, not knowing where Ends goes, I like the alternate ending just a little bit better. And I thought that little morgue scene was kind of cool where Karen Strode went in there. So I prefer the movie just a little bit better than the theatrical cut. You're going to be disappointed with the deleted scenes. There's only 3, but you also got to think that had there not been an alternate version of this movie because of that ending, then there would have been more deleted scenes. They kind of just wrapped it up inside of, inside of the alternate cut like a burrito, which is what we call a burrito in Kentucky. One of the scenes, Nick Castle's cameo that was cut out of the movie, probably the best one, but still kind of weird. It gives you total Halloween Resurrection vibes because it's the scene where Sandra and Teddy from Rescue Me are in their house and she's flying the drone around. The drone flies into the bathroom and there's a couple angles where you see what the drone sees. So you see this grainy drone footage of them looking at it while they're flying it. And when it goes into the bathroom, you see the grainy drone footage of Michael Myers sitting there like cleaning his hand and shit. But it's just kind of awkward the way it's shot. I totally get why they cut it the hell out because Michael just like, you can tell he doesn't really know what to do. He's just like kind of standing still. You don't see what he's doing, but you can get the idea that he's fixing himself up, but you just kind of see him stand there and then he looks up at it and like there's that John Carpenter music note that's like ba-dum! And he sees it and it looks at him and it just feels kind of stupid and then he swats it down or whatever. It's the perfect deleted scene. Like it's kind of cool, but it would have caused some weirdness in the movie. I don't know if it fit in the movie. It was a little too strange, but it's cool that it's in the lore. It's cool that it exists, but yeah, it just threw me back to those Halloween Resurrection like weird fucking camera angles that they were doing there and it just felt like climbing the rope in gym class. Made me feel kind of funny. There is one deleted scene that, oh Jesus. It's just extended hospital footage. So, buddy, you didn't get your fucking evil dice tonight. Here's some fucking evil dice tonight, okay? You want some more fucking evil dice tonight? I got some more fucking evil dice tonight. Hey, this guy wants some fucking evil dice tonight. That guy wants some evil dice tonight. Let's get this motherfucker some evil dice tonight. Because let me tell you something. If I know fucking anything, evil dice tonight. If you hated that, just skip the hospital extra scenes because it's just the crowd chanting. I am happy for all the people that got to play extras in it though because their parts were cut out. There's a lot of extras like evil dies tonight, and that's in that scene. And then finally there's one that features Sheriff Brackett talking to Allison, and more Allison's always good. I wasn't a huge fan of Sheriff Brackett in this movie. I know he's a beloved legacy character. I just did not. Everything that had him in it, I just thought just took me out. But that I see why they but again, more Allison's always cool. And it felt like that scene was in the movie. It was weird when you watch it. So that one was kind of pointless for me. The hospital one, not great. But the Nick Castle one, it's a cool little cherry on top. So that deleted scene was neat. There are multiple different bonus featurettes on here, including the Kill Team, Strode Family Values, 1978 Transformation, The Power of Fear. There's a kill count. The kill count is 53 seconds long. It's literally just showing all the kills in the movie with a little number in the corner and some music over top of it. Nothing special there. There's a gag reel. The gag reel was decently funny. It was okay. It's not, if you want the funniest Halloween gag reel in the history of mankind, it's actually the Rob Zombie's Halloween gag reel. We have a reaction we did to it. You will die laughing at some of the shit that, what's his name? Malcolm McDowell does as Loomis in that. This one's okay, some pretty good little moments in there. Haddonfield's Open Wounds is one. The Kill Team is neat because it's about all the extra people. It's got some nice odes to Christopher Nelson in there, some nice odes to the special effects unit, to all the creative people that are in the process of making this crazy ass shoot happen. And one of the things these featurettes will do for you is give you a new appreciation to just how much work went into this film, like how they shot it all. Particularly the house that was on fire. That scene, they had to light that entire house actually on fire and then shoot those scenes with that certain frame of time. You imagine, you light that house up and you have to get your shots before daytime. And you have to have the house fully inflamed, and then you have to shoot all of your shit, all those crazy scenes that they had already set up in front of that while that's happening. That could not have been easy to do, so they do some really cool stuff showing how all that stuff was laid out, and that's pretty neat. My favorite one on here, though, is the 1978 Transformation featurette, because it is just so cool. Like, it's not just movie magic. When you're watching them shoot on this set, the 1978 flashback set, you still feel transported to this time. It's just got this color, this look to it, like everything is just there. They nailed that. I can't say enough about that. And even the people that don't like Halloween Kills, like, that's fine if you don't like it, but when you go back and you see what they did with those flashback sequences, at least, you can't tell me that some people, that movie's the worst in the franchise, I'd rather watch Resurrection. I mean, that is just stupid. You can say you don't like the movie, you can say you hate the movie, you can say it's a giant piece of frozen poopy, and I can't argue with you, man. I won't, whatever, but to say it's actually worse than Resurrection and some of the other movies in Halloween's lore, like, you're fucking kidding me, man. But anyways, no, it's really cool how they constructed it. It's actually that the Myers house is on a set. So you see in these pictures, like, the roof over top of it, and it's just so fucking wild. And they talk about how they actually went through painstakingly details to make it look like it did in the movie. There's this rare tree or whatever that was in the front yard of the house that they actually went and found one just like, and they had a tree sculptor come in to make the tree look like it. There's real plants, real grass out there on the studio set. Just really cool stuff that they did. And again, showing off Chris Nelson's expertise. They talk about Loomis and the whole story about how the set construction guy, not a construction guy, but like a construction designer, who looked just like Loomis, how they did the special effects and stuff like that. It's a short one. It's only 5 minutes and 50 seconds. The longest one of these is 11 minutes long, and that's on the Kill Team. But there's some cool stuff. So the Haddonfield's Open Wounds is 7 minutes. It talks about the legacy characters and all that stuff. So I've definitely seen far worse featurettes on DVD extras before, and the 1978 Transformation for me was just the coolest. So we're going to get through all the cool stuff that is in this commentary, and including a little hint at Halloween Ends. That's awesome. But the one thing I hated worse than anything else about this entire alternate cut was I wanted to listen to the commentary about the end of the movie specifically, and how they, why they changed it, which we know why because it ends, but I wanted to hear them talk about the ending, what it meant, see if maybe we can get a little nugget into what's coming with Halloween Ends. But I think that they fucking knew that, Jim. They knew we wanted that nugget, and they edited stuff out. If you listen to it at the very end, the last words in the commentary, Jamie Lee Curtis is talking, and she goes, "And you end the movie like this, David." And she says it like that right after Karen is killed. And then the credits come up, and you're like, wait, what? It sounds abrupt. It sounds really abrupt, and you get the exact same thing on the alternate cut as you do on the original cut. I don't know if they're actually any different whatsoever, to be honest with you. I was listening to it, and he mentions the alternate cut while you're watching the alternate cut, so I think they just watched the regular movie. But I think you can tell at the end, and I could be wrong, but it definitely sounds like they edited some stuff out. It ends so abruptly. It's very strange the way it's planned out. Somebody said something they weren't supposed to say about Halloween Ends, I feel like, in that, and they actually took it out, which just cracks me up, because I know that if you're doing a reaction video or if we're doing a commentary, it's live, so it's not live even if you record it, but it's happening real time with it. So if you got something that you don't want in there, you have to cut it out. Like, it's just got to be, radio silence, which is kind of neat. But listen to that, it'll crack you up and piss me off. It's like, damn, that's what I've been waiting to hear about them talk about the ending the whole fucking time, and I barely got anything. They talked about the ending, but you just didn't get, the meat that you wanted, and you could tell something juicy was taken out of there. But no, the commentary was great. It was fun to listen to. Judie Greer is just fucking adorable. I love her. I think she's hilarious. Jamie Lee Curtis is, she's Jamie Lee Curtis, man. She has a lot of strong opinions. And listening to David Gordon Green talk about the movie and the actors was really interesting. Here's my favorite things that I took away from it that I thought you guys would be kind of interested in. The first one, and this is the most important one because this is the Halloween Ends update I was talking about. During the opening scene where Cameron is walking out there, he's talking to Hawkins, you'll see a radio tower in the background behind him. And David Gordon Green actually says in the commentary to Jamie Lee Curtis, he's like, yeah, I went back and put that in there on the hopes that we would actually get to film Ends because, and I quote, it comes into play a little bit, we created that in visual effects at the end once we knew a particular element of characters. He says, we created that radio tower in visual effects at the end once they knew a particular element of characters. So something to do with that radio tower that you see there, you see it in that scene behind Cameron in Haddonfield, and you see it multiple times in the movie, in the flashback sequences as well. There's a radio tower, and I know that seems silly, but something about that radio tower apparently has a big sequence at the end, not at the end, but in the movie Halloween Ends. And I can't help but think about Cable Guy. When he takes him out, he's like, the future is now! Soon every American home will integrate their television, phone, and computer, or play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam! That's what that fucking reminded me of. I don't know, maybe Michael chases somebody up the fucking radio tower, I don't know. The radio tower's got something to do with Halloween Ends. I'd love to know your all's thoughts and opinions and predictions on how that's going to come into play. And it has to be important too, because when he said it, Jamie Lee Curtis was like, oh, and she's read the script obviously, and she was like, oh my god, that was so slick of you, holy crap. And he's like, yeah. So for him to go back and put that radio tower in this movie because it plays such an important part of Halloween Ends, at least the setting for a scene, is really interesting to me. So I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Something else that they went back and redid, we found out recently that Kyle Richards, they went back and changed the script to include her in Halloween Ends because they liked her so much. There's a scene in this where Jamie Lee Curtis is talking about Kyle Richards and the whole scene that happens at the little creek that's over there. And she's asking David Gordon Green about it, and she's like, I was so happy that, that she wasn't killed. I thought she was going to die, and she didn't. And he's like, yeah, well, if we would have had more time, I totally was going to kill her off. Is what he says. And then she's laughing and making fun of him. She's like, you're sick. And he's like, no, you don't understand. He's like, every actor comes up to me and they're like, hey, when's my death scene? I want to die in a Halloween movie. He's like, pretty much every actor except for, Jamie Lee Curtis has said that to him. So he's like, it's not that I didn't like her. He's like, but So I think he had planned to actually kill Kyle Richards off in this movie. And when it didn't happen, and then she was, a fan favorite, like people liked her as much as, I think she was a lot of people's favorite. It's her and Lonnie for me is my favorite legacy characters that came back. They were like, well, we can't, even if they didn't have plans for her in Ends, they were like, we can't just have her story go nowhere. So they brought it back. I thought that was interesting that he was originally going to actually kill her off. Jamie Lee Curtis told a really interesting story about Will Patton's character, Hawkins, Deputy Hawkins, possibly being the father of Karen. Now, she says that basically she met Will Patton for the first time when they were shooting on the street, and she told him, she said, I think you're Judie's father. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't canon, this didn't actually happen, but it's just interesting to hear that she thought that as well. She says, I think you're Judie's father. I think we were lovers back in the day, and it began this whole conversation of were Laurie and Hawkins a thing? Then I had this whole thing about this bar that we were talking about in my imagination, was that they had done it in the bathroom in a bar on a drunken night for her, and it resulted in a pregnancy, and she just never told him. Then she goes on to say that what they did instead was actually, she appreciated what the writers did with her idea because they flipped it, and instead of them having this one-night stand, they made Hawkins this sweet guy who didn't take advantage of a girl, and all they did was kiss, and she thought that was really beautiful what they did there. He didn't want to take advantage of a drunk girl. So he is not, in fact, Karen's father. He is not. They decided to still paint him as a good guy, which I actually like that too, because Will Patton's got such a sweet fucking face. And I think that he's such a good character actor, and he's done such a good job with just his small parts in these movies. I think he's going to have a big part to play in Halloween Ends, and I fucking love it. because I was really bummed when I thought his character died. But it's just interesting to hear their thoughts on this. Like, in Jamie Lee Curtis's mind, he could have been Karen's father too, and I know there were some people wondering that in the original Halloween. So that was a cool thing to come out of the commentary. And then finally, very nice to hear. There's a lot of people worrying when all the script leaks and all the stuff come out about this movie. It's like, oh my God, Michael's going to be unmasked. They're going to take his mask off. They're going to do some dumb shit. We don't want to see Michael with his mask off. And I know they did the bathroom scene, but in the first one where his mask was off, but that was done really well. And they did the same thing here. They did take his mask off, yes, but again, it was done well. They kept it in the shadows. I think that they put a lot of eases to concern with what David Gordon Green says here. It shows that he gets it. He says in the scene where she takes his mask and she's running away with it, David Gordon Green says, what amount of the shape do we need to see unmasked? You don't want to see too much humanity in his face in that exposition. And so he knows, he gets it, that you don't want to see Michael's maskless. We're not going to see like Michael in court talking or anything. Like, he understands that very well. And that was nice to hear. And then Jamie adds, she says, I mean, just alone, right there what you just saw is as much as you'd ever want to see. So they get that. So we can put the maskless Michael Myers baby to bed! My dog is going crazy because there's a fucking UPS driver outside for the 7th goddamn time today because it's Christmas. And at Christmas in this house, all you do is listen to Thor fucking bark because there's always goddamn delivery drivers outside. And right here is when some guy comes in and kills me and Thor tried to protect me and I didn't listen. But yeah, guys, that is everything on this alternate version. I've combed through the whole damn thing. I hope that if you want it, you get it, and I hope if you get it, you love it, and I love your fucking faces. And don't forget, there is a link for those chairs below, those sweet fucking Valencia chairs that you saw at the beginning of the video. If you guys want to check them out for yourself, our own link. We love your fucking faces. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video. That helps. Thanks for sharing it. Thanks for being fucking you.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you wanna know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn. Goddamn you, Michael. I said, goddamn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, goddamn. Goddamn you, Michael.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?